And I know you just released a new project where you had done some research. Can you share some of the highlights of that with us?
I can. And before I share that, I do want to say something about the framework itself. I'm completely aware that, like any good framework, it's incomplete.
Hmm.
That's the nature of a framework. We will hopefully, like, we haven't done our jobs well. Me as a steward of this, but the whole community as people who have said, I believe in this and I want to use this out in the world. We haven't done our jobs well if we get stuck in this is always the way it is. We will, I'm sure of it. I hope it. That actually excites me to think that we'll find, you know what, there's a whole nother path that we hadn't been thinking of that now we need to start including. There's enough um, scientific rigor, there's enough cultural wisdom, there's enough oomph behind it that we need to now start including that in the framework to continually evolve it. So I just wanted to say that about the framework because I love it. And I also, any framework, every framework is incomplete by nature, because we're always learning.
And it's a living thing too.
It's a living thing. It's a living
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
exactly. As far as the research, we did at the end of last year, we did a study of, I think I won't remember the exact number right now, but it's close to 900 leaders across the health and well-being industry. And that industry included three big sectors. One of those sectors was the global wellness economy. So if your listeners aren't familiar with the Global Wellness Institute, that's a nonprofit that's committed to empowering wellness worldwide, and it's tracking the business of wellness. So what is happening? Why are we purchasing? Why are we making these decisions to buy massages, to go to spas, to travel for wellness tourism, to be in wellness real estate? So it's tracking 11 different sectors of what they would call the global wellness economy. I'm on the board of the institute. The science that comes out of this institute is really fabulous. That was one of the groups that we invited people to come from. The second group was healthcare. So healthcare is, my sense is healthcare, when done best, is one of our um, institutions already in place, that the core purpose is our health and well-being, of people around the world. Now, not all healthcare systems actually do that. We have a lot of sick care systems, not healthcare systems. But
Yes.
when done well, healthcare is all about fundamentally our whole health and well-being. So we asked for leaders from that sector to be a part of the study. And then the third was human potential and development. So these are people like you and me and teachers and educators and organizational development people and executive coaches and leadership development and team development, people who would say, well, I don't feel like I'm in any one industry. I kind of cross lots of industries because I have this core purpose around human potential and the development of individuals, the developments of the collective, the developments of humanity. So we asked that sector. What we found across all of it is if leaders from any sector reported a high level of well-being, psychological well-being, based on our 19 psychometrics that we pulled all together, they also reported high in their impact as leaders, their ability to inspire and energize others, their ability to maximize the potential and growth of others, their ability to create an environment of care and collaboration where others could shine. So that overall was worth doing the research, is to find this direct connection between leadership impact and leadership well-being. So you and I started this conversation with the importance of that connection. So it's always wonderful when it shows up in the science. We also found there's 9 different really big findings. I won't go through all of them, and anyone who's listening to this can check out the research. It's free. No one pays for anything. It's just they can just sign up and get all of it. We also found that if you reported that you were from the human potential and development sector, your well-being scores were lower than the other two sectors.
Wow.
This was a surprise to me.
Surprise.
This was
Yeah.
a surprise to me because I was like, wait a minute, these are my people. These are my
Yeah,
people.
we're in this work.
What
Yes.
are we doing? What are
Yeah.
we doing? And we actually had some great conversations with some people that were part of the research about that. And they said, often we get into this work because we care so much about everyone else that it is, and we keep on giving and keep on giving, that we easily forget to care about ourselves. So I don't know if that's the right reason, the reason that we might have scored lower, because people in healthcare could say the same thing, that nurses, physicians, leaders in healthcare give so much that often they don't take care of themselves. So but that was what the data showed. And then I guess another finding I'll share with you is that women, people who identified as female, or people who identified as women, scored a little higher stress than men. And I actually thought it was probably going to be even higher, but it wasn't. So there wasn't a huge skew. It's definitely higher, but it wasn't an enormous skew. So again, there's 6 more findings, and whoever wants to access the study can access it, use it, cite it. We're happy to get it out there.
And I think anything that actually just draws attention to where we are, the current state of things, and gives us some sort of a baseline to look at is really important. I know
Well, and the
it.
reason we wanted to do these industries in particular, the health and
Yeah.
wellbeing industries, is because, especially coming out of COVID, this is the first time in our history as a world that we have had a pandemic that truly affected all of us at the same time. So, and the industry we leaned into as human beings to provide solutions to COVID, to help us navigate it, to help us when we were ill, to help us when we had losses, when people died, is the health and well-being industry. That's the industry, those 3 sectors. These represent the the sectors of our world that were actually helping us through COVID. So we wanted to ask, as an industry that stands for health and well-being, how are we doing? How are we doing as leaders ourselves? And that was really the purpose of the study.
And it invited people into a conversation that they might not have had in the same way. I know just groups of people that I've been involved with post hearing your research have had some conversations that we might not have had.
Well,
Just inquiring into that, like what's it like for us, right?
yeah,
So
that's really the purpose. So
yeah.
if that, whenever that happens, then it's done what it was meant to do.
Right. Well, speaking of what your work was meant to do, is there anything else you'd like to share with people and want them to know about your work as we're wrapping up this fireside chat today? What's any last message you'd
Oh
offer?
gosh, I have so much hope that we can, especially coming out of a pandemic that disrupted every single thing, every single aspect of our life, and created, because of the disruption, an opening mentally, emotionally, physically, and a whole being opening to prioritize thriving, to really go rethink, re-relate, um, respond in whole new ways, and redesign our workplaces. And that's the world that I know, but redesign our workplaces that really stand for human growth and thriving. And I think we have an opportunity. I have lots of hope because so many organizations now are taking a giant step back and saying, wait a minute, we need to rethink how we're working here, so that we're more resilient as companies, but that we're also supporting the thriving and resilience of people. So I'm excited about this work. I am super excited about the people like you that are showing up and saying, I'm in. Thank you for this assessment system. Now kind of get out of my way and let me go use it with people and create some whole new conversations, and then being part of a community. So that was I guess that's the last thing that is exciting me is this community we're building of guides around the world. They truly are. One of my goals was, I don't want this to be a North America. This is not a North American conversation. This is a global conversation. So of the guides that we have now, probably about 30 to 34% are from North America. About the same amount, maybe a little more, are from Europe, and the rest are from Asia Pacific. We've got a few from Africa, so we really need more there and more in Latin America. So we are, and we actually have a pretty sizable number in the Middle East. So we're really looking for who are the people who see themselves, no matter what their role in the work world, as a well-being leader, as an ambassador, and who want to bring this kind of conversation into wherever they work. That's the community we're building right now, and it's so gratifying to be part of.
Well, I'm delighted to be part of that community and that growing community with you, and taking this work in the world to the places that we end up being invited into. So thank you so much for responding to our invitation and participating in the call today. And I'm looking forward to many more interventions in organizations and many more growing conversations within the community as well. So thanks, Renee.
Thank you, Donna. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, blessings in your work.